Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. Studio audience, make it do what it do, baby. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the show. To all my new listeners, new episodes typically drop every Thursdays. I usually talk about my life, my interests, and the ways I'm trying to grow. So come on back through, you feel me? And the reason why I laughed and said typically every Thursdays is the past several weeks I've been dropping on Friday. I'm pretty sure this week will be the last week of them being late. But I also said that last week. And to be honest, I've considered just switching to a Friday drop date because of my schedule. But I don't know, man. We'll see how many more times I drop on Friday before I just make that switch. So for right now, I'm going to just go ahead and say typically drop on Thursdays. Tell my day 1, 2, 53, 126, 150, whatever week you came in and just kept coming back through, you feel me? Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're not, you should totally follow me on social media, and the link to that is in the episode notes. And if you're not, you should totally subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd subscribe back if you have a channel and I get the notification. And YouTube episodes always drop before the audio. Now, typically, it drops at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday because typically the audio drops at 4 a.m. Central Standard Time on Thursdays. However, even when I'm late, you feel me, the YouTube always uploads before the audio regardless. So whole point of what I'm saying is subscribe to the YouTube channel. So yes, guys, it's a new week. It's week 185. We are so close to episode 200, which is kind of wild because this has been quite the journey, right? And it's super interesting because, as y'all know, who are, our regular listeners, a couple months ago, it's been 2 months actually this Friday. If you go by day, see, that's such an interesting thing because so April 7th is when Gizmo came here, and that was a Friday. But what is this? June 7th was yesterday. So technically that's 2 months if you go by the date. But then if you go by the day, it's, tomorrow or probably when this will drop, right? And so, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. But nevertheless, 2 months ago, Gizmo came here, and last Friday was his first vet appointment, and so he is now up to date on all his shots. He also got neutered yesterday, and so he had an ear infection, a yeast infection. I didn't even know dogs could get such a thing, and obviously it's going to be different in a dog, you know what I mean? He has a lot going on right now. He has that cone on. It is so much, and I really, really hate seeing him like this, like for real. It makes me sad. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure he was still high on anesthesia or whatever when I picked him up. So I dropped him off like 7 something in the morning, picked him up about 5. So they called me around noon to let me know that the surgery had gone well. He did well, and that he was going to be in pre-recovery or whatever, and that I could pick him up about between 4:30 and 5. So I got there a little before 5 and picked him up, and it's like, yeah, it is a struggle. Like there's stairs. So like my room is on the 2nd floor. There's stairs that we got to walk up and down. He can walk down the stairs with this cone. He cannot walk up the stairs. So thank God he's a little dog because I carry him up the stairs. 1 second, y'all. Are you good? Mm. I'm not even gonna edit all that out. I don't know what kind of noises he was making, but if you've noticed anything, it's minimal editing around these parts, you know what I'm saying? So, anywho, yeah, I carry him up the stairs when we're coming up to my room. I will let him walk down the stairs. That just started this morning because yesterday we were carrying him up and down the stairs because he could barely walk. I'm having to put his ear medicine in his ears. Mind you, I got to navigate this cone. I'm having to slip him his meds in a little piece of cheese because he'll just eat it and not even know there's meds in there. Because I was like, how the heck am I supposed to get this dog to take these pills? So we had to do some research. So this has been really, really interesting in the life of me being a dog mom. There's like so many things happening, like all of a sudden, oh, but he's growing up. They said he can start, like, he's been eating puppy food because that's the food that he already had, like, when I got him or whatever. He's 10 months old now. And so they said he can start, they said he could start eating adult dog food. And I'm like, what? He's still a baby, but it's crazy because as we know, dog years is different than human years. And even in the 2 months he's been here and I've seen him grow up a little bit. Like now, after he got sick, I told y'all about that. He'll go sit by the back door and look at the back door and look at me and then just sit there. And that means he needs to go out. Rarely does he have to do that because I'm pretty on it. He has a schedule where I take him out first thing in the morning. Depending on the day, I may take him out midday, but if nothing else, I take him out like in the evening or whatever. So he's getting taken out about 2 to 3 times regularly every day. He doesn't pee or poop in the house, which is a beautiful thing. If y'all want to know how he felt about getting neutered, I will note that I took him out because it said, allow him to relieve himself before the surgery or whatever. So I did that. He typically doesn't poop in the morning. And so he peed, let him go around. He didn't poop. All right, cool, cool, cool. We go get in the car. We go to the hospital or whatever. And as soon as we get out, this dude pooped in a parking lot. And that's how he felt about, getting neutered. Yes, I cleaned it up. Thank God I keep store bags like for a trash bag in my car. But what I did do after he did that is I just put one of the rolls of his poop bags. Because listen, y'all, even in my backyard, right? Like when Gizmo goes poop, I will go out with him. I don't just let him go out there and go to the bathroom by himself. Now, I don't care where he pees, but I will go out there. When he poops, I'll pick it up with the poop bag, and then, you can run free and do whatever. But no, I don't leave nothing. I just, you know what I mean? And so that's how we do it. Also, after I took him to the vet, and it had Gizmo and then my last name on the paperwork. And I'm like, that's right. Like, and so Gizmo needed a middle name, right? And so I had to really think about what I wanted his middle name to be because all my kids have middle names. Matter of fact, Kayleena has 2 middle names, but all my kids have middle names. So I was like, okay, Gizmo needs a middle name. And so the episode title, as you can see, his name is Gizmo DaJuan now. Yes, 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 because Gizmo is the one for me. Okay, you feel me? And I'm so serious. You probably laughing because everybody that I've told that to, they kind of laugh, but it is what it is. Like his name is Gizmo DaJuan. He knows Gizmo, so now I'm trying to like use DaJuan a lot so he can understand that's his name too. You know what I'm saying? But he's still young enough that he'll get it or whatever. And so that has been the week with him. Oh my gosh, there has been so many other things going on with my kids. Can't talk about none of that, you know what I'm saying? But man, parenting adults it's different, you know what I'm saying? It's real different because sometimes we see our kids go through things that we want to rescue them. And sometimes they don't need to be rescued from like the consequences of their choices. Sometimes if we were to rescue them, they would not learn the lesson that they need to learn to grow and to become who they are, like who they need to become, right? And so it has been a very, very interesting week in parenting. But at the end of the day, one thing I am very grateful for with my kids, and they are all grown. If you don't know, they are 19, 21, and 23. And it's so funny because so like Kaylee, woo, excuse me. Good Lord. Okay. Kayliana is the middle child. And so Kayliana is my 21-year-old. And her birthday is May. Excuse me, her birthday is in May. And then Janae's birthday is in October. And Devon's birthday is in, November. And what I like is this 5.5 month period of time after Kayliana's birthday, where it seems like my kids are 2 years apart, with them right now being 19, 21, and 23. But then in the fall, when Janae and Devon's birthdays come, she'll be 20 and he'll be 24. And then my whole little weird thing that I like is over, because my kids are not actually all exactly 2 years apart or whatever. But for whatever reason, I like this 5 month stretch. But yeah, they're grown and they know that I don't agree with all of their choices, right? Because, but what I do love about the relationships that I've built with each of my kids is that even though sometimes there's things I could go without them telling me, you know what I'm saying? Like, truly. But I am just super grateful that I have built such relationships with my kids to where they talk to me about a lot of different things. And like, if they're in need, like they're in trouble or whatever, like they know to call me and not worry about, whatever. They know at the end of the day, I'm just going to try to help them through the situation. But a question that I ask my kids often, and sometimes I could tell they're a little irritated, and I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to just appease you and say what you want to hear all the time. But a question that I ask my kids often when they go through situations is, okay, well, what did you learn from this? And a lot of times they'll be like, what did I learn from this? Yeah, what did you learn from this? Because I am very much, and Kayliana said this like when she was little, everything is a teachable moment with me. So everything is something that you can learn something from, be it something about yourself, be it something about what you need, what you should have what you should have did differently, what you don't need, whatever. There's always something to learn from every situation. And it's funny because when I've asked my kids, two of my kids, that question recently, I could tell they was a little perturbed, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's what it is, because it's like if you don't learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn in certain situations, you're going to repeat that over and over and over and over again. So that's more so why I asked them that, because it's like, do you want to keep going through this, or is you trying to move on? You feel me? And so, yeah, that has been my week in parenting. Now, a segment I haven't done in a while. Yes, let's go ahead and get into the weekly wisdom portion of the show. And it's not like God hasn't been teaching me anything, because like I just said, everything literally is a teachable moment with me. I just haven't really been intentional about doing it on the show. I've kind of just been giving y'all content, and it is what it is. Shout out to y'all that listen, even though I've been dropping late and everything. As always, appreciate the support. But as I said, Gizmo has this cone on, right? Gizmo has had a very eventful, it ain't even been a week yet. Well, by the time this drops, it'll have been a week. And so the thing about it is, Gizmo went to the vet. He got all his vaccinations and, whatever other little just examinations they did, blood work, da 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 da. We found out Gizmo has an ear infection and a yeast infection, which is actually caused by the ear infection or something like that. Then Gizmo got neutered, right? And so Gizmo has this cone on. I'm trying to put this medicine on. And the thing about it is, I, as Gizmo's mom, I know when that cone is allowed to come off. I know why the cone is on. I know how long he will have to get these ear meds. I know how long he will have to take the pills, even though I'm not even really sure he knows he's taking pills, because I swear he will chew this cheese like one time and then swallow it, which I love that for me, because I don't want you to chew into it, realize it's a pill, and then spit it out, right? But I know how long we could say this is a trial for Gizmo, because he just looks so sad, so confused. He's more clingy than normal, and he already was a clingy dog. And so he's so confused, but the reality is that I, as his dog mom, like, I know when this trial for him is going to end. And as I was thinking about that last night, because I actually really learned a lot about the Lord and just my relationship with him as me being a dog mom, like, it's just so interesting. And the thing about it is, like, when we go through trials, right? We don't know when it's going to end. Sometimes we don't know why it's happening or what we're supposed to learn from it, if anything, or we just don't know. A lot of times they're extremely painful stuff that we're going through. Like, I can tell Gizmo is in pain, and I actually hate to see him like that, but I also know that for him to heal, this is what he needs to go through. And that the reality is that once this healing process ends, he's actually going to be better off than he was before the pain or whatever the healing process began. And so I just started thinking about how a lot of times I will go through trials and I don't understand them and I don't know when it's going to end, and I just want it to hurry up and end, and I just want to be able to do what I used to do, or just whatever, right? But one thing I've noticed about Gizmo throughout this whole thing is, even though Gizmo does not understand what's happening, like, I can't tell him, hey, this is what's happening and why. And even if I did, it wouldn't minimize or take away the pain or discomfort he's feeling, right? So I can't even communicate that to him. But all Gizmo knows is I am his safe space. And so Gizmo wants to be with me even more in his pain than he did before, right? Gizmo knows that at the end of the day, I am his dog mom, however he views me. Like, he knows that I love him. He loves me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he feels that I care about him or whatever. And he knows that comfort or whatever, food, toys. I did buy him some new toys after his surgery. They were on clearance, but he can't play with them because he actually needs to be calm. So I've had to put his toys away even, right? So this is just a really, like, all he can do is be with me, but that's all he wants, right? And so on the flip side of that, a lot of times when I go through things, especially stuff I don't understand or I don't know when it's going to end or whatever, I need to be more like Gizmo, in the sense that for me, the Lord is my comfort. For me, the Lord is who I go to. So instead of, like, going away from God or even get angry at him or whatever, I really need to just go to him more, like, get closer to him, like, become even more clingy with him or whatever, like Gizmo, because it's kind of like he knows when the trial is going to end. He knows why it's there, what it's there to, like, how I'm going to grow or whatever from it. And at the end of the day, I really truly believe, just like me, I know Gizmo is in pain and discomfort and all this stuff, but I also know he needs this. But at the same time, it's like it hurts me to see him like that, right? I kind of feel like God is very similar to that, in the sense that I don't think he's, like, happy, like, oh, you be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we go through things, and some of it is the consequences of our own choices at times. See, this is where it's a little bit different than Gizmo, because he's just a dog. These are health things or whatever. And we're not going to get into, like, health things and stuff like that. But some stuff we go through is truly the consequences of our own choices, yet in still, all things work together for our good. You know what I'm saying? So even when we go through trials, it works together for our good. And so my encouragement to you as you listen to this is, if you're someone who like has a relationship with the Lord, because this isn't going to hit with everybody, and that's okay. This is for the people that it is going to hit with. And you go through stuff, though, my encouragement to you is don't shy away from God in those moments. My encouragement to you is to be like Gizmo. You know what I'm saying? Cling to him even that much more, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't like it, even if it's uncomfortable and all these things. Because at the end of the day, Gizmo trusts that I am good and I am going to be good to him based on the way that we have interacted. God is even that much more good to you and cares even that much more than I care about Gizmo. So that's my encouragement to y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Be healthy in your relationships, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for